Hello everyone and welcome to another video on my channel. Today we are going to be finishing up the Skyrim Special Edition mod list that I created on my stream last week, and we are going to be completely finishing up this mod list so that we can start off next week on Wednesday on our stream with a fully functional mod list. But also, before I get to this video, I'd like to say thank you very much to everyone that joined our new Discord. We have about 10 members right now. I just want to give a shout out to everybody in there. We've been helping each other out, modding the game, and just talking about things in life and in general, and it's been great. We're building up a little community for Skyrim modding before the Elder Scrolls 6 comes out. So if you are into Skyrim modding and you would like to join this community, please go down to the description below and click the link for the invite to my Discord, where we will all be chatting about Skyrim and Skyrim mods 24/7 pretty much. So it's great. If you like modding Skyrim, if you love Skyrim, Elder Scrolls, all that good stuff, get in this Discord. We got a great community building up and it's great. But anyway, let's move on to the actual video. So as you can see right off the bat, the normal texture pack looks good. The rocks, the ground, it's a little bit more HD than usual, but you could see certain things like the trees are not updated and the flora is not updated. Like, these are just original textures. If you really zoom in and look, you can see that. Like, yeah, from far away it probably looks good, but if you zoom into these, you could see these are a little bit more clear. They're 2K textures, and then these are just, I mean, you know what's going on there. So we have a bunch of things. Also, if you look out into the landscape in the distance, you can see there's not really much going on. It kind of looks bland. It kind of looks like an old-fashioned game. So we are going to be getting a landscape mod also, and we're also going to be getting flora overhaul. We're going to be getting some cinematic fire mods, which are going to make the fire look a lot better. I could come over here and show you guys the fire real quick. I don't want to take too much time doing this because... So you could see the fire just looks like normal Skyrim Special Edition fire. There's not too many... It's not, you know, the greatest fire. It just looks like a normal type of fire. So that'll get updated, and then at night the actual lighting effects will be better because we're going to add lighting effects and stuff. We're going to add 4K mountain textures so that the mountain textures in the back match the closer up textures, and we're also going to be adding mountain fogs and stuff. So the background of the game is going to look a lot more pretty, and it's going to match the rest of the landscape. As you can see, like, this building does not really match the quality of this bush right next to it. So you see building, clear, bush, blurry. We're going to fix all that. So let's get right into it. Okay, so what I have here is my Vortex pulled up. If you're not using Vortex, I really suggest that you use Vortex at this point. Nexus Mods Manager will work the same, and there are some other mod managers that will also work, but I always use Vortex, so if you're following my guides, it would be best to use Vortex. I would suggest that. I also have on the left here my Skyrim Special Edition mod pack that I posted last year, because I have all the links to these mods here, so it'll be faster for me to navigate around, and you guys can use this video if you follow along with this video as well. So the first thing I have on my list is immersive citizens. One problem a lot of people have that I see is when they download the mods, they don't realize which Skyrim it is for. So there's Skyrim Legendary Edition, there's Skyrim Special Edition, there's regular Skyrim. So when you type a mod, you have to look and make sure that you're going for the right Skyrim, because you see this is the regular Skyrim Immersive Citizens. It would not work in my Skyrim because I have Special Edition. So I would have to use this one. So we're going to get Immersive Citizens now. This is basically just going to make the AI for all of the citizens and towns and the NPCs better. It adds dialogue that has been locked from the code of the game. It just makes them seem a lot more realistic. So I'm going to go straight ahead and install it from there. And now you see they give you the install box. Some mods don't give you this, but some mods do. It's actually a lot better when they do. So what we have here is, this is the install options. This is the core, so obviously you want to check this if you're downloading the mod, which we are. This is for Open Cities Skyrim. That's a specific mod. If you had Open Cities Skyrim, you would have to click that to enable these mods to work together. This is for enhanced lights and effects, and we are going to be getting this one. So I am going to get the patch for enhanced lighting effects enhancer. And then we have enhanced lighting for EMB, which I don't believe we are going to be installing, so we'll be fine with that. And touring carriages we are also not installing. So we're just going to get the patch for enhanced lights and effects, and then we are going to get that mod straight away next, because it's going to say now that we have certain plugins that don't need to be used. So here is Immersive Citizens and the enhanced lighting effects. Now, as you can see, it says missing masters. That's what I meant, because we do not have enhanced lighting effects yet. So once we get that, missing masters will be gone. Yes, here we go. So here's enhanced lights and effects for Skyrim Special Edition. Another quick thing to keep in mind, guys, is when I download these mods, I go straight away and download them, just because I've downloaded these mods so many times, and I've downloaded this exact mod list together so many times, and I know that they all are compatible together and they all work. But when you go to download a mod, you're going to want to read through the compatibility. You're going to want to read through the installation. You're going to want to read through the entire description of the mod. I can't stress this enough, because you're going to get a lot of information, and if you run into a problem, you'll usually know what to do if you've already read through the entire page. Alright, so the download for enhanced lights and effects has just finished, so we will install that straight away. And missing masters should now go away when we have this, because, okay, let's see, enhanced main ambiance, so we can get the enhancer as well. The interior weathers and enhanced lights, I'm not going to get these because we would have had to get more compatibility things. Let's see, static mesh improvement mod. So this is the patches for this, so we definitely need these because we have the static mesh improvement mod. These we do not need, and no candle smoke and no torches. Blank texture again, and the torches will update and look a little better, so we're gonna get that too. Okay, there we go. Now we can enable enhanced lights and effects. And now if we check again, it should work. Let's not worry about this for now. What I do want to worry about is the new mod conflict. So don't get scared away if this happens. This just means that two mods, see it says here, this just means that two mods contain the same files, and you need to decide which of them loads first and which of them loads last. Now, the mod that loads last is the one that is going to load the files. Usually, Vortex is going to suggest it for you. So you see, it wants you to launch enhanced lights and effects before High Poly Project. I would definitely suggest that as being correct. So Vortex is not always right. You have to do a little bit of research before, but I know that you definitely want the High Poly Project loading after enhanced lighting effects and also the static mesh improvement mod. So we're gonna enhance lights and effects after the before both of these mods. Also, we have static mesh improvement mod and High Poly Project. This one, I would say just leave it. You don't really want to mess with it right now. The High Poly Project should probably be installed after, but if we run into any errors, I would come back and switch this. You can troubleshoot. If things aren't working right, you can come switch, or you could always, you know, look in the mod development pages, because if you're running into an error, then someone else has probably ran into that error before too. Another good thing is to always look on Reddit too. So next I am going to get Obsidian Mountain Fogs, Nat Tamriel, and Cinematic Fire. These are 3 big mods that are going to improve the graphics of the game. So let's see, Obsidian Mountain Fog should be somewhere here. Here we go. And we will go straight from Vortex. Next, we will look for Nat Tamriel, which is right here. And we will also download that through Vortex. Next, we will get Cinematic Fire Effects, which is right down here at the bottom. And we'll go right through Vortex again. Okay, so all our downloads are done, so we're going to install Cinematic Fire Effects as well. And then we are going to come into plugins here. And we're going to enable Obsidian Mountain Fogs as well. Okay, so we have more unresolved file conflicts, so we're going to look, and it's Static Mesh Improvement and Cinematic Fires. So, with this one, I'm actually going to say that we load Cinematic Fire Effects after Static Mesh Improvement, because I would like the Cinematic Fire Effects to overrun the Static Mesh Improvement. Now, another thing to keep in mind when you're doing this, it might work, but if certain files conflict, if you load this one after, it's going to load these files. So, say this was Cinematic Fire Effects and Cool Fire Effects, right? If you loaded this after, Cinematic Fire Effects would be the actual fire effects you would see in game. If you loaded Cool Fire Effects after, the Cool Fire Effects would show instead of the Cinematic Fire Effects. So when you are picking the load order for this mod, just keep in mind that if you load a mod after another mod, you will not see the textures from that other mod. You will see the textures from the mod that you load last. So we're going to go ahead and save there and deploy. So, next mod we are going to get is Ordinator Perk Overhaul. This completely overhauls the perks in Skyrim. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we are just going to blast the hell out of the rest of the graphic plugins so that I can show you what it's going to look like overall. So let's start with 4K mountain textures, which is a really good one to make the mountains really look good, especially with those obsidian fogs. Once you get the 4K mountain textures, the game will really look great in the background. As always, make sure it's Skyrim Special Edition. Click that Vortex download. So next, after this one, we are going to get Flora Overhaul, because it's going to make all of the flora look great. I'm also going to get 3D trees. This is the one. So we're going to download that one as well. Okay, next is Realistic Water 2. And we're going to download that one straight from Vortex, as always. We just finished with Realistic Water. Now we're going to get the Verdant Grass plugin, which is going to improve the grass. So we're going to make sure it's Skyrim Special Edition. Go right through Vortex there. Okay, so the next thing, and this is pretty much going to finish like the main graphics add-ons, is Vivid Landscapes. So this is just going to make the landscapes look a lot better further out in the background of your game. There's also an update file, so you're going to have to get both of these. Whenever there's an update file for a mod, make sure you get it, because if you don't, there's going to be errors that were in the earlier versions of the mod that you're going to be having, and it's probably going to be annoying. We'll do one more thing, which is a quality world map. This is a good one. So a quality world map is going to just change the world map of Skyrim. You're probably also going to want the clear map skies, because it's going to clear up the map and look a lot different. But if you do like the fog effect on the map, then don't download this, because it's going to make the map look like, I'll show you. There you go. So that's what the map is going to look like without the fog. Alright everybody, so we have all of these mods done downloading now, and at this point in time we have 8 more that we're going to install, and then we will be finished. So let's go take a look here at what we got. So we have the 4K mountain textures, the Flora Overhaul, 3D plants, Realistic Water, Verdant, Vivid Landscapes, and Quality World Map. We are going to go ahead and install all of the. Realistic Water 2 has an installer. We have optional textures. You could go half resolution, smaller water drops, and E&B rain. You could get some extended ambiance. I'm not going to get any of that. We're just going to go for the realistic water right now. Alright, so we have all of these installed now, and we can go right to plugins, and we can enable the world map and the next generation forest from the 3D trees. So, download failed. Dismiss. Okay. So we have the Skyrim Special Edition texture pack is conflicting with all of these. Vivid Landscapes is conflicting with a couple of things. So a lot of these are conflicting now, but we're going to go through and it's not too intimidating. We're going to go through this. So, suggested enhanced lighting and effects before high poly project. Perfect. They also suggest enhanced lighting and effects after Vivid Landscapes. And then enhanced lighting and effects, I would say, let's do after static mesh, right? 4K mountain fogs, we will go. So this is before. I would say that we're going to load this after because we want the 4K mountain fogs. We don't want the mountain textures from the texture pack. 4K mountain textures, again, Vivid Landscapes, we are going to do after because I want the 4K mountain textures popping out. Realistic water 2, we will do after static mesh, as it's suggesting. Skyrim 3D, after Skyrim Flora Overhaul, as it's suggesting. Skyrim Flora Overhaul, we're going to load after the texture pack because we want the Flora Overhaul. And Flora Overhaul, we are also going to load before Vivid Landscapes because we want the landscapes to pop up in the background over it, right? And then Flora Overhaul, we will load before Verdant because we want Verdant to push the grass plugins. And we will load this before static mesh as suggested. Also, here we have another one, Skyrim Special Edition texture pack. We're going to load that before Vivid Landscapes because we want Vivid Landscapes going. And here we have static mesh improvement and Vivid Landscapes. So we are going to do static mesh improvement before. Also, let's go before on Verdant. And then we are done. Okay, perfect. So this is how we're going to set it up for now. And we're going to deploy. So we have cyclical mod rules now. So let's see. So we have Skyrim Flora Overhaul, Skyrim Special Edition Texture Pack, and the Static Mesh Improvement mod. Now, this is where it gets very, very weird, but we're going to work through it. This screen shows a cluster of mods that form one or more cycles. Arrows can be read as then A to B, reads A then B. Okay. You can resolve a cycle by either moving or flipping one rule. So if you have a cycle A, B, C, A, you could flip the arrow between C and A to get A, B, C, and then A to C, which is no longer a cycle. Oh, okay, so I see what's happening. So the cycle is A, B, C, A. Right, that is a cycle because it goes A, B, C, and then C to A. This would not be a cycle because it's A, B, C, and then A to C. So basically what's happening here is the Skyrim Special Edition texture pack is going to the Flora Overhaul. So A to B, B to C, C to A, right? So we want A to be going to C. So we'll move it like, let's see here. I guess there is not much. Oh, okay, here we go. So we want to, this is first, second, third, and then we'll load last among connected. Let's try to deploy now. Perfect. So as you can see, if you do a little bit of reading and just work through it, sometimes it is a little difficult to understand, but we saw that A was going to B to C, back to A, so we just switched A to load last. And that was the fix. So now we have all of these plugins installed, and we're going to go ahead and launch the game. Before I do that, something I actually haven't been doing that is very important is you want to go to loot before you launch the game every single time. I haven't been doing that because I'm so used to installing all of these mods that I know that they work. But we are always going to sort the load order. As you can see, sorting it made no changes to the load order. That's actually very good because that means that all the decisions that I made in the load order have pretty much worked out correct. And as you can see, all of the plugins are here. So let's exit out of that and let's go ahead and launch the game. So natural and atmospheric Tamriel seems to be working. So let's take a look at what we were looking before. So as you can see, this tree looks completely different. It now matches up with the rest of the game. So you could see there's the texture pack that we have, and now the tree textures look a lot better compared to what they used to be. And the tree is much more 3D and a lot more realistic looking. You see most of these trees are a lot more 3D and more realistic looking. Take a look. This is the tree that we were looking at before. Also, see the verdant grass plugin has made very, very, very thick grass. So if you don't like that, then I would suggest getting rid of it. Also, as you can see, the landscape in the background there has cleared up and it is looking much more landscapey rather than what it used to look like. As you can see, all of the rocks, everything seems to be looking clear. The trees look a lot more realistic. The mountains in the background, take a look at that. You could even see the trees in the mountain in the background, and the mountain textures are still clear and you have the fog rolling through them. So at this point now, we are at the point where the game is looking amazing. You can see the realistic shadows. Everything is starting to come together. All of the mods are starting to come together. And it's looking great. Alright. So, now we have 8 more mods to get, and I'm going to get them real quick. So, first one I'm going to get is enhanced blood textures, which makes it so that when you hit somebody with a sword, blood's going to be spurting everywhere, and your swords and weapons will actually have blood on them after you injure somebody. Next, we're going to go with unique uniques. Unique uniques is going to add diversities to the armor and weapons in the game. So you're going to have a lot more items that you can loot, a lot more weapons. So you'll have different shields, you'll have different bows, different weapons. They're basically unique. Next thing I'm going to download is Stunning Statues of Skyrim. This is going to make the statues that are in Skyrim look a ton better. It just adds to the immersion, especially with all these 4K textures and everything. The statues will not match, and there are a lot of statues around the world, so you're going to want to get this mod in order to make the statue textures match the rest of the world, just like how we made the mountain textures and the grass textures and the flora and the trees match the rest of the world. Now we're making the statues match the rest of the world. The next one we are going to download is one of my favorites, surprisingly, and this is footprints. So I don't know, here it is. So this adds footprints into the ash and snow in the game. Alright, next is going to be fluffy snow. Fluffy snow is going to just make the snow look more fluffy and better. It's another mod that is going to make the snow match up with the rest of the game because it's going to make it look much more immersive and realistic. Next is AI overhaul. This is going to work perfectly with immersive citizens. It just drastically improves the AI. So not only are you going to have better dialogue options with the citizens, and they're going to be doing, saying cooler things and noticing cooler things and stuff like that, but they're also going to be doing normal things, like how a lot of times the NPCs in Skyrim are kind of just doing the same things. Well, now AI overhaul is going to make it so that, you know, if there's a farmhand on a farm, they will actually be farming crops and moving back and forth and delivering the crops, and you know, there's going to be NPCs just doing more realistic actions throughout the game. So this is a great mod. So as you can see, this is our first additional mods required. It's the unofficial Skyrim Special Edition patch, which of course, if you are modding Skyrim Special Edition and you don't have the unofficial Skyrim Special Edition patch, that is a huge problem. So of course we have that, and we are going to go right ahead and install it. Next is unique standing stones of Skyrim. This is going to add more unique standing stones around the map that you can get all different types of buffs from. So this is always a good one to add to your playthrough. That'll just add more options to the game. And now we are down to our last two, which are going to add even more items to the game, and that is immersive weapons for Skyrim Special Edition. Immersive weapons for Skyrim Special Edition just adds a ton of weapons, and it makes them more immersive in a lore-friendly way. As you can see, every edition blends into the world, so it makes the weapons feel immersive and with a lot more of them. Great. Very nice. We will go to immersive armors at Skyrim Special Edition and also get that at the same time. Now, I believe the immersive weapons and immersive armors are bigger downloads. Yep, it's a 1 GB download, so it is going to take a while, so we're going to have to take another break for this one. So once all these mods are downloaded, I will come back and we will be able to finish off the video. Alright everybody, so it took about 20 minutes to download these two mods. As I said, Immersive Armors is very big, it's a gigabyte, so it's going to take a little while. So we're going to go ahead and click Install All here to install everything, and now we have enhanced blood textures. If you have immersive creatures, you need the compatibility patch. Effects distance, so you can choose how long you want the effect distance to be seen from. It gives you a little, example of where they're going to be. I'm going to stick with long so you can see it from far away. If your PC is a little bit, less heavy on the graphics side, go with maybe short or medium. You can reduce wound size, which I believe is a good option because that looks a little too much to me sometimes. That looks like that guy just got mauled by a bear, so I would say the bottom one definitely looks more like she got into a sword fight. So, and then you can change the blood size as well. That would be normal. This is a larger splatter size, and this is a reduced splatter size. I think the splatter sizes are too big, so I'm going to go with reduced splatter size. Of course, this is all options. You can get blurry screen blood, which I do not like, so I don't go with that. And then you can choose the color of your blood. So this is the default color. This is the darker color if you want. And this is the brighter color if you want. So you can choose between those two. I like the regular color, that looks the best to me. And then you can go with different textures. So let's see. So it's all pretty much all the same things here. So we'll just go with finish. And that's going to go ahead and install. And if there's any more mods that have any installation windows like that, they will pop up. As you can see, it's going to go through and install all of the mods that we just finished. Here we go. So stunning statues of Skyrim. So it makes you choose all of the statues that you want to activate. So I'm just going to go through all these and click finish. It's saying failed to read some mods. Don't worry about that yet. We'll see what happens. Alright, and for immersive armors, we have a UNP body mod, and this is the support for it, so we don't have that, so we're just going to finish. And now it is deploying. Okay, there we go. So some mods are redundant, that's okay, we don't care about that. These are just all the errors that we do not have to worry about. Let's see here, and we have Cinematic Fire is incompatible with Nat, and 3D Trees is incompatible with Flora Overhaul. So I would say that you can ignore these because the game is working. Now, those files might be stopping certain mods from running, but as long as you aren't having critical errors, you should be fine. So in here we have the Skyrim Special Edition texture pack is conflicting with Fluffy Snow, and Unique Uniques is conflicting with Immersive Weapons. So let's show that. Now, what is Vortex suggesting? They're suggesting we do Fluffy Snow after, which would be correct because we want the Fluffy Snow to show up. And they are suggesting Immersive Weapons after Unique Uniques, which I would also say is good. And I would also say that the Skyrim Special Edition texture pack should load before Vivid Landscapes. And they want us to load the SSE texture pack after the Static Mesh Improvement mod. If they're suggesting that, I would go with it, but that seems like something we might play around with. I guess they want you to load the texture pack and then the static mesh improvement mod to fix it. So actually that makes sense. So we'll go with that and we'll save it. So now we have to deploy. Okay, and now we have no more errors. Okay, first let's go in here and install all these. So there's Uniques, the plugin. Immersive weapons. These are some armors that come with the immersive armors and everything. Footprints. And then you have all of the blood things that you downloaded. Perfect. So we're still getting this error, but obviously we have it. So I don't know why that's not detecting. And now, without further ado, we can open up loot for the last time. Alright guys, so after some editing and moving around, I can't seem to get rid of this error, but we do have the plugin installed. You can see it right here. So I'm just going to go ahead and load up the game and ignore that because I believe this is just a little glitch that's happening in the Vortex mod manager right now. I just want to scroll through and make sure, okay, these are the only ones that should be uninstalled for now because we were getting incompatibility errors, and we want to make sure everything is enabled in here as well. Perfect. Okay, so now we can launch the game and see if it works. So as you can see, everything is loading in. It seems like everything is good, and now take a look at that. You could see the 3D trees and plants has affected the flora, so that is good. You can actually see that the Flora overhaul was making that thick grass. So by uninstalling that, now we actually have some nice, less thick grass from the Verdant plugin. And we also still have the 3D trees that are nicely blowing in the wind there. So that is nice. And check out those mountain textures. Beautiful. Beautiful. And if you come over to the fire from before, as you could see, I mean, you could tell right off the bat that this area looks so much nicer. And you could also see, look at those fire effects. So don't go with cinematic fire effects, go with naturally atmospheric Tamriel, and I mean, that just looks amazing. So you could see from the difference. I'll try to put a side-by-side from the beginning of the video to now so that you could see what it looked like and what it looks like now, hopefully. And that is about it. So we are up to date. So if you guys get all these mods now and update your Skyrim, you will be ready to play along with us on Wednesday in our first official episode of gameplay, but it will be week 2 of our Skyrim adventures. I want to thank you all for watching. As always, if this helped you, leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and make sure to turn on that notification bell. I'm out. I will see you guys on the stream on Wednesday.